This is Thomas Lyons from Raps on TV. I'm fortunate to be joined on the phone by CHINGFORD's very own Dillon. How are you doing today, Liam?
I'm very good, mate.
Great to hear. It's great to have you on the channel, champ. And for the Raps on TV viewers who haven't possibly heard of Dillon, he's obviously from CHINGFORD, as I said there. 6-0, undefeated lightweight prospect, making waves in the boxing game at the moment. And yeah, he just told me there, he's 8 weeks out from his next fight in September, taking over in the gym, keeping in shape and more than ready to go again for his 7th professional fight. So, Liam, just to start off with, obviously you just touched on there that you're obviously in the gym preparing for your 7th fight. How's training gone so far, and what adjustments have you made from your 6th professional fight that you're taking into this fight in September?
Yeah, training's going well. I'm trying to get more mobile with my movement. I've always been sort of come forward, take shots to give shots, which is something I've got to get in a habit of doing. Because I thought my last fight, I fought quite a big puncher. He had a few knockouts to his name. And day after the fight, I had a concussion. I was like really bruised up, and that was the first one of my fights I actually was bruised up. But I learned a lot from it. I've got to get more mobile with my movement, counter punching, just not getting hit with stupid shots. I wasn't rocked at all, but it was just the after effect the next day. And yeah, I mean, it's not saying I can't have like a 6-round fight to get hit that much. So yeah, just working on movement, mobility. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and obviously just touched on there, your 6th fight, correct me if I'm wrong, was against Dean Evans. Obviously got the win on the night, and yeah, like you touched on there, obviously being rocked in the fight, sort of, was it sort of a case of, boxers when they're obviously boxing on that massive platform, do they kind of, do you get a bit carried away sometimes, with the crowd, the energy within the, obviously the venue, and sort of, detract from the initial game plan, or is it a case of, it's just trying to impress the fans as much as you can whilst also keeping composed under the game plan from your trainer?
No, it was very I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just ego, but I always tend to box better in fights as I do in sparring.
Yeah.
So I think boxing on stage brings the best out of me, while some people I've seen in the gym kind of has the opposite effect. No, I think there was a bit of ego there. I think I was taking shots, thinking I was alright. I wasn't rocked at all in the fight. I was fine. But the next day I had like a black eye and bruised my eye. I haven't had that in any of my professional fights. And yeah, it was a good fight. I mean, I was talking to the bloke after. He was very up for it. He was very up for fighting me because he boxed a lot of experienced boys.
Yeah.
And if you look at his record, compared to the boys he's boxed, I wasn't anything. I mean, guys with similar records to mine, he had gone to their home show and knocked him out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a very good learning curve, very good fight. And I think it's my best one today, including the amateurs and the unlicensed I boxed on. That was probably my favourite fight.
Yeah, and that's what you want. You want to be able to take the positives from these fights. And as you said there, Dean Evans wasn't possibly the traditional sort of journeyman you get that comes in to lay down. He's obviously come to fight and to be motivated by an opponent like yourself. So is that a good thing to take on board? Obviously, as you step through the levels, that you are getting the fights that the opposition are coming to win and to give it back to you.
Yeah, definitely. I think if I'm going to go through, I mean, obviously you love a knockout in the first round. It's like job and knock.
Yeah.
You just go in there, knock them out and get. But I think if you're doing like 8 weeks of training camp, and then you've got to sell loads of tickets and you're dieting, if I go in there and I catch them with like a shot and they go down, I'll think, no, you got to get back up. I ain't having this. I've trained too hard for this just for you to go over. So it was very good to be in a really competitive fight and kind of show the best of me.
Yeah.
Also, to bring the best out of you.
No, definitely. And what's it been like, obviously, under Steve Goodwin, and obviously the platform that you've had to be able to sort of elevate your career? How important has that been, having that team behind you to carry your professional career to date?
Yeah, Goodwin's done a brilliant job. I mean, me and my coach was saying he's got me good opponents, good learning fights. He's put me on good shows. I mean, like he does the York Hall very well. He sets the stage up and the music going, and it's really good shows. And it feels like my ticket sales have gone up each fight because people people enjoy it and that. But my coaching team's brilliant. I couldn't really ask for a better team. I got coaches Steve Kipps, Bob Kipps, my stable Matthew Chandler, guy who owns Spartan Gym, Ian Wilson, my nutritionist Paul O'Neill. They put so much effort and work into me. And I couldn't really ask for a better team, really. I mean, my improvement from my debut to my last fight, I think if I would have fought that guy Dean Evans a year ago, I don't think I would have beat him.
Yeah.
But I've had such improvement over a short amount of time. I just think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I couldn't really thank my team enough for it.
Yeah, I think that's a testament, obviously, to your matchmakers and being able to step through the levels accordingly and get the right opponents at the right time. So, Liam, just before we go on to talk about your ambitions for the next 12 to 18 months, could you possibly break down your amateur career and the experience you've had before turning over to the professional ranks?
I boxed for Wolfen Forest ABC. I had a lot of junior fights. I had 38 under Wolfen Forest. They were all junior, and then I suppose I quit when I was 18 for about a year. I started work and just sort of struggling to get down the gym and that. But I got back into it, got a new job, and I gave myself more time. Got back into it. Had a few unlicensed fights under Spar. Then a friend took me down 5-star. I boxed on their home show. Then I boxed in the ABAs. I lost in the North East Div final versus a good opponent. And then I had 2 more unlicensed fights, and then I turned professional.
And have you, obviously, with the amateur scene and making that that transition from the amateurs to the pros, are you satisfied with the experience you've gained in the amateurs to stand you in good stead for the professional game?
Yeah, because I had a very pro style with them. I wasn't very mobile on my feet. The in and out, I was very come forward. I was never good at boxing on the back foot, so I always found it best just to go forward. And so I think it turned the pros. I think it better suits me.
Yeah.
Than the amateurs.
Yeah, and with the obviously traditionally nowadays with the GB setup and obviously making the step up from the England boxing scene to the GB team down in Sheffield and the podium squad for the Olympics. How important are you sort of realising that obviously on the small hall scene, working your way up, building your fan base, building your profile? How important are you finding those aspects of the pro game so far?
Oh, it's good because I boxed a lot of tough boys, and I mean, all of them have gone a distance, which is pretty good because people can underestimate your power and then thinking that because you haven't stopped anyone, you don't hit hard.
Yeah.
I boxed a lot of tough journeymen, so I'm getting a lot of experience in a short amount of fights, and I think that's why I've had such a massive improvement each fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As I said, if you go in there and knock them out in the first round, you haven't really learned anything.
No, of course, no, definitely. And yeah, like you said, obviously with the rounds in the bag, I suppose in a way you're learning your apprenticeship on the job, as you say, with these tough fights. So do you, obviously you've mentioned there that you are satisfied with the way things have progressed, and that's what leads on to my next question, Liam, about obviously your ambitions for the next 12 to 18 months, without overlooking your opponent, obviously in September. What's the target for sort of early 2019 to the later end of the year? Are you going to target any major titles if the opportunity present themselves?
If I had the opportunity of like a fight for a big title with 8 weeks' notice, I would take it because then you get good preparation and you get a good payday.
Yeah.
And then you get the title when you win. And but no, I think I like Southern area first. I like to go Southern area, English, British, and just work my way up title by title.
Yeah. Brilliant. And just before I go on to talk about the domestic scene at lightweight, what's the sort of the assessment you have of the amateur scene in Chingford, or just in general Chingford boxing at the moment? Do you feel like you're leading the way for Chingford boxing? Is there any sort of up and coming prospects that we need to be looking out for?
I think I'm kind of well known for boxing around the area. People come to my fight. Yeah, I think I'm quite a small name. Even after the 6 pro fights, I'm still quite small. I'm sort of under the radar at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm sort of hoping for something to really come up where people start really recognising me.
Yeah. And how do you feel, obviously, with the the exposure of York Hall and, being the mecca of British boxing at the moment, have some massive cards there in recent months, obviously with Lawrence Okoli headlining for the Commonwealth against Luke Watkins. We've had, 2 back-to-back shows this weekend with MTK and Hellraiser with Mickey Elliott. How important is this exposure for, lifting your career to that next level, Liam?
Well, there's so much history at York Hall. It's really good to get to fight it. I think you can't really beat it. I mean, you get other small hall shows which are trying to be like the New York Hall, but I think you can never really beat the history of fighting there. And I do love it there.
Yeah, and with the domestic scene at the moment, obviously Lewis Ritson leads the pack, as you can say, with winning the British title outright. The board have just ordered.
He just tore everyone apart. I think he was the quickest anyone's ever done it. I think his defence was like 4 rounds.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
I'm open to mainly campaign at super feather. I mean, the lowest I've made as a pro is 9.7 on the same day weigh-in. I spoke to my nutritionist, I spoke to my team, and I think I can make super feather comfortably, and I'd rather compete at super feather than lightweight.
Yeah.
I think obviously like the size difference. I mean, Ritson's a big lightweight.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Like 5'10", he's a stocky lad. I think if you want to really do well, you got to look after your nutrition, and it's always an advantage to be big for the weight. And I'd rather compete at super feather, and I reckon I'll make the weight comfortably. And then, that's a really big division as well, domestically.
Yeah, with the likes of James Tennyson obviously beating Martin J. Ward for the European title.
I did not see that coming at all. I thought Ward was cleaning up the division, and when that fight come in, I was shocked.
Yeah, no, definitely. And touching on that super featherweight scene, Liam. So you just mentioned there James Tennyson beating Martin J. Ward. It was a massive shock to a lot of people. I mean, within the boxing fraternity, but I mean, in terms of the sort of 130-pound scene with the likes of Stephen Smith still around, would you see the likes of Stephen Smith versus Martin J. Ward as a massive fight to have in the UK?
Yeah, I think all big. I mean, when you get 2 guys with best of division in the UK, it's always going to be a big fight to promote and to watch. I mean, I love to see any of them fight each other.
Yeah.
I think you've got a lot of guys quite equally matched. There's no like superstar world level fighter at super feather. They're all very domestically highly rated.
Yeah, no, definitely. I have to agree with that point, because obviously with the sort of the world titles at the moment, you've got obviously Miguel Roman with the WBA. You've also got Gervonta Davis, picking up the another version of the world title. So I mean, the division, in a way, you could argue that it's not the strongest of the divisions worldwide, but still a division that packs, a lot of talent, and I mean, it's paving the way for a lot of the British fighters, with the likes of Tennyson moving up in the rankings, the likes of Ward moving up in the rankings, Stephen Smith still around, world level, maybe gone past it with having a lot of shots at the world title, but still, they all remain relevant. So is that a promising thing for you as you climb the ladder yourself?
Yeah, because I think there could be a few big fights for me down the line at that weight, where I could probably have a few fights and then I could be up in the top 10.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's no one at like really world level. I mean, I think Tennyson's got the WBC and the Continental.
Yeah.
And they ain't too far away from a British.
No, very true.
So it's very I think once you start winning domestic titles, Southern English, you're sort of halfway there to being top of the division.
Yeah. And I think as well with the lighter weights, once you win those intercontinental, international titles, it does put you in a good position with all the governing bodies. I mean, in some weight classes, someone could win an intercontinental title and they could be pushed to 9 or 8 in the rankings automatically just for winning that one title. And I think it gives fighters a great position to build from. Obviously, targeting those.
She won the intercontinental, and it lined up a fight with Gervonta Davis came over here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and he's still in the mix as well.
Yeah, 100%. And another fight that kind of rings a bell with the domestic scene is the board have just announced for a final eliminator between Atif Shafiq and Andy Townsend. Obviously, Andy Townsend's had the experience, of boxing for the British title before.
He moved up to lightweight.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, at lightweight. another great fight on the domestic scene. Who do you see winning that fight, Liam?
I wouldn't underestimate Townsend. He does seem to bring out the bag, doesn't he? He's had a few losses against top opposition, but I think I can see him nicking it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And is there any sort of, I know it's too early to say, looking past, obviously you're going to make your 7th professional fight, but if you were to say tomorrow, if you're offered a fight maybe that could materialise and be a massive fight domestically, is there any particular name in the hat at super feather you'd just say, if you're offered the fight tomorrow, you take with the click of a finger?
I think if it was a big title and I had a lot of notice and good training camp and you're getting good money for it, I'll probably fight anyone.
Yeah.
Domestically or even well, I mean, if you're getting good money for it and you get a good training camp and you go in there and show your skills on the big stage, something you dream of when you start boxing, you want to fight anyone.
Yeah, I think that's the mentality a lot of boxers have at the minute. I know there is a lot of the fighters out there with massive egos, with wanting to get the big paydays, and I know it is part and parcel of the game, to be able to secure a living for your family and stuff. But I mean, as you've rightly sort of said, I can tell that your mentality is to fight the best in the division and achieve as much in the sport as possible, which is obviously a credit to yourself. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So I was just talking about, obviously there's a lot of fighters at the moment with egos and wanting to gain the most money, and I mean the way you've sort of perceived your position at the moment is that you are willing to fight the best in the division, and I think that's a credit to yourself that you are willing to put it all on the line to target these massive fights.
Thank you, definitely.
Yeah. So just to finish off, Liam, it's been a pleasure having you on the channel for the first time, and I appreciate you giving me some of your time today. Is there any particular shout outs you want to give to any sponsors, managers, trainers, whatever, family and friends that might be tuning in to this?
Well, I'd like to thank my team: Steve Kipps, Bob Kipps, Matthew Chandler, Ian Wilson, Patrick Sandy, Paul O'Neill. I mean, they've been with me since day one, and they're doing a brilliant job, and I wouldn't rather be with any other team apart from them. My sponsors, Scaffold, the company I work for, Peter Hornsby Flooring. Yeah, they've been with me since day one, helping me out. So yeah, thank you to all of them.
Brilliant. And where can the Raps on TV viewers find you on social media, Liam? What's your social media streams for the fans?
Instagram, Liam Taz.
Brilliant. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the platform tonight, champ, and I wish you all the best ahead of your upcoming fight in 8 weeks' time and in September, and hope you move to 7-0 as planned.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thomas Lyons, Raps on TV, Liam Dillon, absolute pleasure, champ, and wish you all the best. Take care, mate.
Thank you, mate. All the best.
Thanks very much. Cheers.